hypothesis for neurodegeneration in the world is associated with the loss or decrease of the cognition and motor ability. For example, to loss or to ability for music writing or dancing. Several hypotheses or work is working about the genetic effect of the cognition, and it's possible to find the lifetime different work and protocol using animal model for to study this problem. In this case, the fish is originally because exactly zebrafish is very close to human genome and rat. For that reason, is the alternative model for to keep on studying and protocol in this model. The problem is manganese related to this neurodegeneration. Several hypotheses suggest that Alzheimer's or Parkinson and other, this is relating to energy metabolism environment, protein environment, oxidative stress environment, and some hypotheses are so manganese participates in this vibration. For that reason, this working is about toxicogenomics analyzed in zebrafish embryos, prepare pathway involving in manganese-induced dementia. Neurotoxicity about manganese is the old problem. By the questioning today, the mechanism is not exactly specific during development. During development is in human, this is high necessary to the manganese for different physiological process. It is related to the nourishing antioxidative situation and glucogenesis and development in general. Nevertheless, exposure for manganese is associated with neurotoxicity, including 6 levels. You can see the 6 level, for example, for A-born is lower. Is in this situation, it's possible to identify neurocognitive impairment. The same with exposure for drinking water in 6 level, it's possible to identify cognitive impairment too. For that reason, a study about pre-assignment for manganese is necessary. More necessary in aquatic systems because the water is one problem in the world. In this slide, it's possible to identify the problem is in Brazil, China, Bangladesh, Canada. Yes, it's poor country and rich country. It's the same problem. In summary, the manganese is possible to identify. It's good and bad. And the level in imbalance in the manganese in cellular is associated with motor and cognitive dysfunction. In deficit, it's possible to identify neurodegeneration. It's the same we do exposure for chronic and acute exposition for manganese. This is the problem is this element, this extraction element is participating in different processes at the same time. For that reason, it's very complicated study about neurotoxicity or the mechanisms associating with metal. It's the same copper, it's the same zinc, and other iron too. It's a problem with essential elements. In this case, toxicogenomics appeared to be one excellent option to study this problem, because it's possible to study together different processes, the same problem. For example, toxicology is offer information about the principal problem about manganese and neurotoxicity, where different manganese is more toxic than manganese trivalent. Together, metabolomics is possible to confirm this information, plus identification of accumulation and distribution in the brain. Together, transcriptomics is possible to identify why this accumulation or distribution in brain is occurred. Is in one hypothesis is related to differential expression gene associated with metal transport. And proteomics and metabolomics possible to identify different pathways associated with neurotoxicity in manganese. And phenomics offer information about cognition and motor dysfunction with exposure for manganese. It's associated. In summary, toxicogenomics is integrating the different processes together. Toxicology possible to identify more exactly mechanisms associated with manganese neurotoxicity. Exactly, this is the objective in this work, is determining by toxicological approaches the potential toxicological mechanisms for manganese. Using the zebrafish model, this is, when talking in introduction, is similar to human genome. Design the study, this is exposure for zebrafish embryos for different manganese species during different development stage. The 2 hours, from 2 hours to 100 hours. This is a 0 day for post-fertilization and 5 days for fertilization. It's possible to identify during development the neurotoxicity is increased. It's associated exactly in this region. This region is the high energy demand in the embryos, and the human is the same, because it's similar to infants and young people use more energy during development. Okay? It's possible to identify the major toxicity is appear in this region. This is high use the energy in this situation, and it's possible to identify too if the time exposure is relating to major toxicity of manganese. Okay, chronic exposure is a major toxicity and associated with development stage in high user energy. Other results is associated with broader chemical speciation in neurotoxicity. It's possible to identify in divalent species citrate of manganese 2 is appeared to be a species more toxic. In this case, we confirm this information about metabolomics, because it's possible to identify this chemical speciation is important or the chemical fractionation is important. Chemical fractionation offers information about distribution of this metal in the organism. In this case, we identify manganese appear principal or myelin in pellet is associated with protein in membrane and granular tissues. Different to supernatant is the cytosolic component principle. It's possible to identify difference between manganese divalent and manganese trivalent. These appear migratory in cytosolic components. But its cytosolic components, according to toxicologists, is the fraction more toxic. In this case, with its chemical speciation analysis identify marine inorganic manganese species, but identify trace, that manganese trace. This is very important because manganese trace is candidate to cross the barrier blood brain. It's associated with neurotoxicity too. The chemical speciation, we continue to be very important because only manganese divalent induced calcium disruption. In calcium disruption appear to be the first cause for embryo toxicity induced for manganese. Okay, we continue, and we develop transcriptomic aside because it is arrived and PCR for confirmed result transcriptomic. We identify the confirmed information. Citrate of manganese 2 is more relevant for toxicity than manganese chloride. It's possible to identify more gene dysregulation to induce embryos for citrate of manganese 2. It's possible to example to different genes associated, and this gene is dysregulation is associating with different pathways. Summary, distribution, this gene expression is another cell. In this case, chemical fractionation appears is important, but the following is manganese participates in different pathways in different processes. For that reason, distribution of the gene expression is the all cell component. When you analyze your PCR, it's possible to confirm and identify manganese citrate is more toxic than manganese chloride because of our lower concentration. Manganese citrate induces more gene expression when you compare it to manganese chloride. But what happened this in summary with exposure for manganese species? The first, identify calcium metastatic diffusion is connecting to gene expression, which is the calcium binding or calcium binding, and following is endoplasmatic stress, and this situation lead to metabolism, protein metabolism environment. And together, this situation is possible to identify affect different process. This different process is associated with manganese neurotoxicity in different work, in different studies. This is emerging environment, oxidative stress, and proteolysis too, and other. These are all processes induced are neurological disease or motor disease and cognitive disease is possible to identify in this table. When you analyze in toxicological database, it's possible to identify associated disease gene disruption with possible candidate is gene associated with dementia and Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disorder. This preliminary conclusion support about previous work that suggests involving the manganese in neurocognitive and neuromotor impairment. Okay, this is other working course exodes that the same, the proteomics. I saw it that the manganese was inducing dementia too, because several proteins associated with this process and this disorder is circulating for manganese. But finally, in neurotoxicology studies is neurobehavior analyzed. In this case, identification, neurocognitive and neurolocomotor impairment in zebrafish embryos, which we apply the protocol exposure zebrafish embryo, the front two for further cross-fertilization in neutral environment and rich color environment in different positions. In this case, it's possible to identify a clear color environment to the moving in the zebrafish embryo. In this case, it's possible to identify preliminary impairment in cognitivity, because we identify how many zebrafish imprint in different areas according to the color. The first conclusions: independent of the color environment, zebrafish prefer activity, freezing activity. Nevertheless, with the exposure for manganese space, the training is increased the movement. At the same time, when you expose in protocol the open air, it's possible to identify preference area, iron preference, and color preference. In this case, control and citroid of manganese two preference for central area and neutral color. This is appear contradictory result, because this is a special more toxic about other results. But the rest, manganese species, the preference is a color enriched area, again special, the yellow. This is the preference area. But above it, the black and orange. Okay? When you continue, it analyze the moving in the areas. Identify the preference for more moving when you expose for manganese species. Identify. Increase the speed when you expose for yellow or orange environment, and decrease in black and neutral for citrate, manganese chloride, and trivalent manganese species. And contrary behavior when you expose for control or citrate manganese 2. You identify decrease speed in yellow and orange environment, and increase the speed in black and neutral orange. Conclusion: identify manganese-induced embryo neurotoxicity depend of developmental stage and chemical speciation and chemical fractionation. Induce calcium dysfunction following to endoplasmatic reticulum stress and protein metabolism impairment is associated with dementia. Is confirmed because with phenomenon process. And Toxicogenomics embryo suggests that the pathways can be appear in young population exposed for manganese in chronic manner. Consequently, method diagnosis of dementia must be developed and improved in early and late stage 2. Altogether, this result improves environmental manganese risk assessment and management. Okay, this is my teamwork in last year. and Norway, and is collaborating in the world.
Thank you for the very interesting presentation. So do you have questions? No, I have one. I'm not sure that I understood correctly. You show that manganese is of course toxic if there is an exposition during embryogenesis. But if there is an exposition when the zebrafish is adult, you have the same toxic effect.
Adult fish is more presently for manganese or water toxic. It's the same in human. You expose for adult, is metabolism is different, and you have more response for toxicogenomics. For that reason, the development is more sensitive for exposure for manganese or water.